Hey man, what it is, what it ain't, the place where we do and don't give a damn what you think. It's the From the Jump podcast, man. We're here for episode 7. And to my left, I got
Big Tony.
Man behind the camera. We got Alex to my right over here.
Hey,
And today, we have a very special guest, man. Someone who's like a little brother to me, man. A very hard worker. And I kind of want to let him do his own introduction of himself, but I'll let you know this is the man, the myth, the legend, Quian Williams.
What's good? What's good? I ain't really got no intro though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey man, very humble young man, and we're gonna get to the interview section probably after halftime. But we're gonna kind of, he's very deep into the basketball world, so we're gonna take him through what we kind of go through, and get to them questions a little later, man.
He can hoop a little bit.
Oh, okay, that's big. That's big coming from Tony.
A little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'll take you.
Yeah, he was all right. He was better than the rest.
Okay, I like that, man. So we're gonna start it off, man, with the Wizards, more importantly, Russell Westbrook. He just tied the Big O for most triple-doubles all time. They have a game tonight, I believe, against the Atlanta Hawks. I guess, what does it really mean to you guys? I mean, obviously, he's not considered one of the best point guards. He's considered a stat stuffer, but to have that kind of accomplishment and achievement under your belt, what do you think about that, Big Tom?
I don't feel like you can't knock the ability and the things he does on the floor. It's just something you can't take away from him. He might not win a lot of games or whatever, but a triple-double is amazing no matter how you look at it. In my opinion, I was telling some guys yesterday, in the generation where people kind of prayed individual accolades over team success, he's going to be looked at as one of the greatest ever. And so that's why he does what he does, because a guy made a good point yesterday, like he had to make a legacy for himself because he's not going to win championships. So he's going to be great in that, being a triple-double guru. And if he keeps it up, nobody's ever going to beat that in history, I don't believe. So, but it's amazing in itself. Triple-doubles is, I never knew nothing about it till he started doing it. So I look at it like it's good for him, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Ayo?
Hey, right now they're winning against the Hawks. I'll say that real quick. But I'm going to have to give him his roses because you already know, like, doing that, like, is a big accomplishment. And, like, even though he's not winning games, he's still putting up stats, doing everything for his team. And you can't knock this man. I mean, he's giving us, like, everything. And, like, I just think if he had a couple other pieces, they might be doing something in the East. But I'll give him his roses still. It's a big accomplishment.
Hell yeah. Key?
Honestly, I just think like Russ, he doing something like all y'all touched on. He doing something nobody ever done and probably never will. And like a lot of people hate on it, but I feel like if everybody could do it, they would. So I mean that's special for real because ain't nobody else doing it.
All right.
Hell yeah, man. With that, the last game where he tied Oscar Robertson for most triple-doubles, also Bradley Beal got hurt with the hamstring injury, and you can kind of see it. I had to go back and rewind it.
Was that when he had the 50 ball?
Yeah, he had 50, and like literally, it was close game, like maybe 30 seconds left, and he went for a layup, missed it, and came down the wrong way. You can kind of just see him grab it. Russ, defense, they got to stop. Russ went down, got fouled, and he was just back there grabbing his hamstring. And then he went to the damn bench or whatever, had tears in his eyes. So I'm hoping it's nothing serious, especially with them coming into the, making their way into the playoff. So, yeah.
But hamstrings in athletics, man, it's like it's so touchy to have a hamstring. Anything, pull, tear. It's just, especially in the NBA right now, the guys big. How many games they play to recover from that takes time. LeBron just rolled his ankle and he'd been out for a minute. So imagine if he was to pull his hamstring, and if he don't play, then obviously they're done for. There's nothing they have. But I hate, like we always talk about, I hate that all these injuries are happening to the great players because it's not fun to watch without them. And then see Russ play with a bunch of bums by himself. It's not entertaining at all. But I hope he just makes it out and comes okay. Because if he doesn't play in the playing game, you might as well not even watch that game.
True. Yeah.
I feel like they're going to get in that playing game, so, like, I'd sit him a couple games, and then hopefully he can get healthy. Because, like, you want to see them compete, and you want to see them go against the Nets in the first round. So, like, hopefully he can get healthy, and they can, like, get somewhere.
And they're claiming that the Wizards could hang with the Nets with Bill healthy. I'm like, I just don't see how that's possible, but they're saying because Russ is playing so well that anything can happen.
Right.
And, I mean, that's a possibility, I guess. But the Nets healthy. If they have James Harden, obviously they don't lose very often.
That's true. Kiki?
I ain't gonna lie, that hamstring a killer. I don't know. It's gonna be tough for real.
Like how long would it take you to come back from a hamstring?
I ain't gonna. it take a minute. It take at least a month for real. Like
See what I'm
to be
saying?
like a month to be like back like 100% for real. So, and then win a playing game like next week, 2 weeks from now.
10
Yeah.
days, something like that.
Yeah. Real short.
I can't imagine him coming back quick.
Right.
And if you rush it, obviously you go through the chance of him actually ripping it apart.
Right.
So for him, it's like what should he do?
Right. Tough situation, especially, like I said, I think they have a few games between them and the 11th seed, maybe 3, if I'm not 3 or 2, somewhere around there. And I
Yeah.
believe the Chicago Bulls is right there. But they should pull through as long as everything goes according to plan. Now, we're talking about Bradley Beal and talking Russell Westbrook. I won't say off the top of your head. You can think about it. But who do you think is the best backcourt this season in basketball?
This year?
Yes, sir. Point guard, shooting guard, for those who don't understand the term backcourt.
I'd probably say, from my opinion, probably CP3 and
Book.
Devin Booker. Just
Okay.
because of the success of their team, how much they've changed. And obviously Booker's number ain't what they normally are, but he's winning games. And if all you added was a point guard and some other little small pieces, but
Mm-hmm.
they killing people. You see what I'm saying? And that's just how it goes. So obviously, the front runner a lot of times is probably Dame and CJ.
More
But I'm
stuff.
taking, and Clay hurt, you can't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm taking CP3 and Book right now.
Okay. L?
See me, I'm gonna go ahead with the Nets and take Harden and Kyrie.
Oh, yeah.
Like you saw what they were doing, especially without KD. Like in how many games they won. I definitely love seeing them two together. I mean, even though they're not playing defense, they're starting to put up 80 points on you. So
Yeah. Is Harden back?
He's-
not yet. He's out
yeah,
for the rest
he's
of the
on-
season to
yeah.
the play-ins.
So
Very
he's gonna
much.
wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta go with the Nets too. I ain't gonna lie, like they just different.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They different. I ain't.
Not
It ain't fair. And
It's
they got,
something we'll never see again.
right, and then they got KD too. Probably best scorer in the league for real.
Ain't no problem. I give him that. that. Score? You talking about score? Name another one.
Steph.
Okay, yeah.
Dang.
He said,
That's a good
okay.
second.
That
That's a
was
good
quick.
second.
That was
Steph,
That's a good
Dame.
second. But we talking about all levels. That boy KD's another monster.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll put Harden up there with him. They're like neck and neck because honestly, Harden can do everything. And then he's left-handed too, so you already know that's a
Yeah.
different aspect of it.
KD, I'm putting him on whoever, whenever. That's
Okay.
just how I see it.
I respect
A
that.
7-footer,
It's hard to guard.
that gets to it.
And
it's
can
just-
get mobile.
But Steph, the way he shoots is almost.
He had
it's-
11 threes against the
This
Thunder.
almost seems unreal.
and he gonna finish at the rim too.
Yeah, and he's unathletic from a jumping standpoint,
How do you shoot underhand layups from damn near free throw line?
off the glass, bro.
Easy.
But you watch him shoot threes, it's like he's the smallest guard in the league, weight wise. Shoots so effortless, it's unbelievable. Like I hate to watch it. I'll be salty. Like you don't even look prototypically correct. like what you're doing doesn't look right. Trae Young got some muscle.
He's
Steph
trying.
don't even look buff at all. Like he don't ever lift.
Like he ain't never put on weight since he just doing
Eating
the-
his wife's food, chilling.
Man.
Man, okay. We're going to keep moving. And this was a big one for me just because I got to acknowledge when someone puts forth the effort and time and you see their game evolve. Last year we saw Brandon Ingram, make that next step, even though this year it hasn't been the best. But your guy, man, Julius Randle. And I'm hitting with this one first. Julius Randle said that he should definitely be in the MVP conversation. How do you feel about that, Key?
That's facts.
Mm.
Julius Randle a dog. I remember first time I saw him, I was like in middle school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was going to his senior year. I think he was playing. I think his team was like the Texas Legends or something like that. I don't know,
Mhm.
but bro went for like 30, like easy. Like, I'm like, bro, he different. And he ended up going to college. Balled in college, went to the league, but he didn't have a good start. But
Yeah.
it ain't always how you start for real. And he's showing that.
Mhm.
Like he for sure must improve.
Yeah,
That's
facts.
hands down. But MVP conversation for sure. Just because what's the Knicks like? They
Fourth in the East.
fourth in the East. When the last time that's
Yeah,
happened?
it was worse than the league last year. One of
Right.
the worst.
Mm-hmm. Ayo.
I'll definitely put him in the conversation. I don't know about winning it, but definitely what he's done is tremendous this year. And then seeing the growth in it, definitely most improved player of the year for sure. I'll give him that one.
Okay. Tom?
From you look at it from the conference standpoint, the only guy I would say who's better than him in the East, hands down, is Joel Embiid consistently throughout the year. The only guy that hadn't been hurt outside that much aside of him is Kevin Durant. All them cats been hurt. But if you talk about 4, he's probably number 4 in the MVP candidate conversation. Just because most improved by far, like that shouldn't even be a discussion. But the numbers he's doing and the way he's playing, I remember watching his highlights in high school. And the way he would play then is how he plays now. At Kentucky, they kind of minimized him made him a big guy and all this, like he couldn't shoot, and dude had a burner. And then he goes to the Lakers, they do the same thing to him.
Power
he comes
forward.
to the Knicks, and they like, get busy, just do you. And now you see it gets ugly sometimes for people, and dudes are hoss.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely glad to see it. It's crazy to think, he was on the bench for the Pelicans like a year or two before Zion got there. He was there with AD and maybe Boogie, and just all those. And I think they might have even had Rondo on the bench if I'm not mistaken. It's just crazy. The time. It definitely takes time and effort to master your craft, and over time it's definitely shown with him. So I got to give him his credit and his flowers right now for sure. So with that being said, and we were talking about him being in the MVP conversation, what makes an MVP? Is it the overall your team's record? Is it your stats? Is it I forgot what the other one was. Just the impact that you make on your team. How would you rate an MVP? What is the biggest component? Ayo, I'm gonna start with you.
I think the biggest thing would be storyline, I guess, because most of the time you already know LeBron should have had like 11 MVPs by now if we're going by just the impact of like a player. Because really this year I would say it'd be CP3, like if we're going off of impact. But a lot of the times it's just like storylines and then stats of like that's how it's gonna get you an MVP.
Okay, Key.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Just the impact you can make on the team that's the whole point of being valuable. That's in the name of the award. And like he said, LeBron should have got like 11 of those. I'm gonna just say that. He should, just so we know that. But CB3 for sure, Julius Randle. Everybody else is so up in the air, honestly. But them two for sure.
Yeah, Joker's going to be in there.
Jokic and Joel.
No.
Yes, he is.
No.
Joker's going to be in that thing.
He's
regardless.
He's gonna be in it, but like, who else can you really put in it though?
I don't know. As a 4, I really don't think. They're going to put Joel Embiid maybe, but
yeah, he'll be in.
And so that'll be those 4 maybe if Julius Randle can make the cut. But when you talk about most valuable, I have this conversation with people all the time because everybody's like, oh, this player and that player. I'm like, value is like determined on what success you change for the program. So like CP3, for example, his value comes in and turns the team into now a playoff dominant Western Conference team. LeBron's value on his team this year isn't as big because you have AD to carry the weight. If they lose CP3, there's a chance the Suns are really bad. Just be like last season. You see what I'm saying? So I look at it like value is based on, of course, the impact you make on the team, but the change you make within the program. So like the Suns was nobody who start winning a little bit in the bubble, but now you got CP3 and they like, we top dogs. For one season, that's unbelievable for a 36-year-old 6-foot man.
Yeah, I'm talking about doing it last year too. So
it's crazy, bro. Like what he did with the Thunder, that's valuable. Like that's the most valuable. You take CP3 off the team, now look at him. Tragedy.
Where we're supposed to be.
Tragedy, bro. They had CP3. He was so valuable they couldn't lose.
Right.
They would just keep winning games they weren't supposed to win just because his value carries so much weight.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this then, because we talk about the impact the player makes on the team, different things of that nature. When Kevin Durant left the Thunder, they weren't the Thunder of old, right? And Russell Westbrook went on to have those triple-double seasons.
Yeah.
I guess, how do I want to word it? He may not have pushed them over the hump, or he may not have made them a title contender, but with his stats and everything, it made him an MVP.
Russell?
Yeah, with him averaging that triple-double for that season. The first season, that's, in my opinion, love Russell Westbrook to death, but that's what made him the MVP that year. What do y'all have to say when it comes to like stuff like that, I guess?
So for that, in that situation, you lose the second best player in the world. You lose him. So you have to make do for that, like somehow. And the only way he could even figure out how to win games was to play that hard. So when you think about, they made the playoffs, I believe.
No, they did.
That year with him playing that way. So if you talk about, if Russ didn't play on that team, my high school team would probably compete with him. Like that's how bad they were if Russ was not to play. And so you talk about like that. That's the reason he won, because he had triple doubles. They were winning games and they made the playoffs. So what else could you say if a man's averaging triple double and his team's doing well? Now he's averaging triple doubles and his team's absolutely pitiful. So it's just, that's the difference in the time because of the tragedy of what happened to KD. He left. Team plummets, and then he still has to carry the weight by himself this time. So that's why I think he won that year, because of everything that entailed of the season and the situation that happened.
Okay. Else?
I think we have to look at like the surrounding team because like you said, that team was buns. Like besides like Russell and Katie and like how they like operated, it was pretty much just them two going at it. Like you go this time, you go this time. So after you lose Kevin and it's just Russell, like you said, there's no one to fill in, and pretty much it's just Russ by himself trying to create because we can't get free agents in Oklahoma City. You already know this.
Nah.
So.
And he has got a few. But either way, you know, it's hard to get a couple.
If we got Rudy Gay, I swear, we'd
Yeah,
won a
that year
championship.
would have been tough.
Yeah.
Kiki?
I mean, like you said, I mean, just the way he went about that next season
Facts.
is really what just separated him. It just made it clear cut that he was MVP, because without him, they probably wouldn't win. Like, I ain't gonna lie, they not winning 10 games that year.
I would probably agree.
Like, for real.
Like
Like,
it's bad.
that tragedy, you know.
No, for sure.
Like I argue with people about the CP3 Russ situation,
Mhm.
but if you talk about those couple of years, it's like LeBron playing in Cleveland back at the beginning,
Yeah.
and what he was doing with that team is like unbelievable, and averaging a triple double. You see, and I think free throw percentage was high that year, 3-point percentage was best, so he was having a great season in total. So you like, how do you not give that man the MVP?
And at the same time, if you put him in the East, like they would have been a fourth, like fifth seed. So it would have been a little better discussion about it too. So
The way they doing MVP now is just so, it's not how it should be though. Like they looking at the regular season and playoffs now, when it's really, that's a regular season award.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
even like I would say the year Russ won it, that was like the last year they actually looked at it like a regular season award, because like, you know, they was a first round exit like that same year.
Right.
So I mean, they gave it to him right when the season ended, everything. But like now, you seeing people getting it like closer to the NBA Finals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They get closer and closer to the end of the season. So it's like y'all looking at playoff plus regular season. Y'all just looking at the impact on the regular season, because like playoff and regular season ball are two totally different things. So you really can't judge your MVP off that, because if that's the case, you can get people like Jamal Murray, Dame Lillard, like people like them MVP, just because how they was balling in the playoffs and stuff too. Because honestly, they was the two best players to me in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. That's true.
And if Book would have made it, shoot, they went 8-0. Like, he was
That's
hooping.
true. But Dame was balling last year.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
different.
that stuff's insane.
He's different.
They're supposed to be the greatest 8 seed ever. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
And to have a decent team, obviously you got an old Melo, but Dame was incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just put himself like, y'all gonna respect me for what I am. Win, lose, or draw, but he gonna fight it out, and I respect that about him.
Yeah, man. Something I sent in the group text, just, want to touch on it, man. The Babyface Assassin, it says Steph Curry is only 83 pointers behind Ray Allen's career record, not only for in the career, but including playoffs. And Steph Curry has played 600 fewer games than Ray Allen. Only 83 pointers behind, 600 games fewer. What do y'all think about that, man? Let me go Keith first.
That boy the greatest shooter ever.
Ever.
Because I ain't gonna lie, like growing up, I always thought Ray Allen was he was the goal as far as just shooting the rock. And to see Steph doing it like this easy is crazy, because Steph got a lot more in the tank. Yeah, so he finna shatter that record.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy, it's gonna go crazy.
Tone?
It's funny. I just gotta send. I sent that picture to a coaches group message, and my homie Josh always got crazy input. So he's like, Ray Allen played in the era where the first two options was big feed, mid range pull up. So that was your options. Ray Allen didn't really fire that thing as often until later in his career.
Right.
So Steph kind of was just like, all right, I'm gonna take it from here, Ray. Where you ended it, I'm gonna just ride it out here and show it how it should be done. And but the rate he does it and how he does it, where he does it from, is something that's just like unbelievable. Like, I don't know if we'll ever, and Trae Young's a great shooter, but ever see a person to compete with his 3-point stuff outside of Clay. Clay could be the only one that compete with it, and that's his teammate.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's crazy.
That's his teammate. So it's amazing for us to be able to witness it. There's going to be an era come soon, next generation that done never got to see it. They just get to hear about it, and then they might have somebody later in life that can shoot it, but nothing like that. I don't think it ever happens again.
Right. Yeah.
no, it's godly. Like it'll never happen again. And just to see it and like just to be a part of it, like is a blessing. Because like that's truly like greatness. And then how he's changed basketball and like the evolution of the 3-pointer and with Steph is like something to see.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. It's crazy just to think we were kind of around for the Jordan era. We've got to see LeBron's whole beginning, and we'll, God willing, to see the end. We've seen Steph come in out of Davidson. Clay come in from wherever he came in. You know what I'm saying? It's been
Washington State.
Washington State.
yeah.
Washington State.
like it's crazy. Like not little, but they weren't the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the
Nah.
Kansas.
And the fact that they were built is the even more impressive thing, because the coaches went and found the pieces they needed, and they just worked out to be great. Because you got Lehigh and wherever C.J. McCollum, I think he went big, but Dame Lillard went to
Weber.
Weber.
State,
You see what I'm saying?
State.
And it's just like, and C.J. went to Lehigh.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to pick guys up from there.
Nope.
And then they turn out to be two of the best. Ja Morant. The people sleep on the small school cats, and I'm like, they killed them big D1 dudes a lot of the times just because they got something to fight for. They dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just what you find at the lower levels, because they got slept on, and then somebody snags them, and then they kill you. So like the kid from ORU that just went to the league, the little point guard, he's like 5'9", led the NCAA in scoring last year. Now he's going to the league. It's just people sleep. Like, what's wrong with you? And I understand there's other things that it entails, but it's insane.
Oh yeah, man. So we're gonna switch it up, man, to them hands. We seen, a short little snippet of them, Floyd Mayweather and one of the Paul brothers. I don't know. Who is it? Jake? Yeah, Jake. Man, I guess he posted that little video or whatever. He had a black eye. Is this shit? Is it show? Is it for real? For real? Like, how are y'all feeling about this whole fight? The black eye, is it real? Fake?
I just don't think Floyd do disrespect well. Like, he's just not who he is. He more about money and respect than anything. So for a young cat he's rich, probably a little spoiled. To him to snag a hat, it's a game to him. Like, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd put them paws on you like,
YouTube
hold on, I'm
shit.
a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch me in general.
Mm-hmm.
So when I heard Russ or May talk about it after, I'm like, the kid don't understand that. And then when they get to boxing, he really gonna feed him something crazy, just because he's like, okay, I was only gonna take it easy. Now you disrespect me in front of everybody. Now I got to get busy. So
that man hat.
he gonna get a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's $100 million or something. Floyd will knock him out in no time, get that money and go home.
Man,
You already know it's publicity. And at the same time, like he said, little white boy trying to be a little disrespectful, trying to get a little clout, pulling Mayweather's head off. And it's just, yeah.
Like we don't even do that to each other.
yeah, we
See
really
what I'm saying?
don't.
It's just
It's
not
just
something
crazy.
you do.
His raps for him, it's over with.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Yeah, they might have to go get the stretcher for him afterwards.
Wow.
Floyd ain't playing.
Go knot him up.
Yeah.
See, Floyd ain't threw him in a while, so I feel like his hands done tightened up because it was kind of soft for a minute. He gonna really try to put them paws on that man, just because he's like, it's an exhibition. So if I lose, it is what it is. So I can just go out banging on you if I have to, and that's just what's gonna happen. I think this might be his last one, for real. For real, he'll take this bag and go home.
It'd be cool for a minute.
Unless he just keep taking publicity stunts, then it is what it is.
Right. So, man, we could go into halftime. This period, we're going to be doing our actual interview of my boy Quian Williams, man. I just want to give him his roses, his flowers, man. This is someone that has always been held in high regards when it comes to me. My little brother introduced him to me as a young man in about 7th grade. Always humble, always nice, always gave me the utmost respect. An athlete in every sense of the word, played multiple sports. A great teammate as far as I can see, and in my opinion, very, very underrated and undervalued through a lot of the shit that I've seen. So I guess this one I'm going to ask you, man, because I seen you grow up as a young man through junior high school with my brother. And, you played football with a lot of good football players, man. But I will say a lot of the coaches didn't value your talent as much as they should. And, that's just me speaking. How was it, in my opinion, how did you take being underrated or undervalued a lot growing up?
At first, I didn't really understand it. So I used to I felt the way I was a kid. But then I had a good support system around me, and they told me, like, that's going to make it even better. Just whenever you finally reach what you've been working for. And when you finally reach that point, you're going to see, like, you're going to get to prove everybody wrong, and then everybody got to come apologize to you. So that's something I always just kept in mind for real. Just try to keep a positive mindset about it, because people not perfect. People going to make mistakes, and a mistake was just sleeping on me for real.
Fact.
Ever since I was a kid. So I think that's people's biggest mistake, and I corrected. I fixed their mistakes. I'll do whatever I got. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Stay
Yes,
humble. I always give praise to God first, always. So
Yeah.
I think just me doing that just kept me in the position I wanted to be in at this point.
Oh yeah. Shit. What was your mindset, I guess, going in? Because you played receiver, DB, all these different positions, and in my opinion, again as well, you didn't get as many touches as I would have liked. And a lot of people in the stands would have liked. But what was your mindset going into the whole recruitment process of going into college and different things like that? Were you ever worried that maybe your talent wouldn't be noticed or appreciated due to the fact that you didn't get as many opportunities as you could have?
Yeah, I would say when I was younger, before I got my first offer. So when I was like a sophomore, leaving PC North, going to sophomore, like my peers, like G, Quindon, Casey, Bray, they all picking up offers and stuff, and I'm like, man, like, well, I'm playing with these cats, you know what I'm saying? Where my offers at,
fact.
I'm practicing with them. We going toe to toe, every day. So it's like, and I know I can hold my own versus anybody. So I'm just really just wondering where everything, where it's at, where it's coming from. So the mindset I just had with that was just keep making the most of every opportunity I get in practice, in the field, like in the game, in the classroom, and eventually it was gonna come, and that's what ended up happening. But it was just hard to stay patient. That was tested a lot for real, just my patience for real. But yeah, that's pretty much it though.
Okay.
Was there any animosity during that time when the offers came
Animosity between who?
towards you and some of your homies, depending on if there was a pop off? Like, and I know you're friends. Everybody talk a little bit, and we're y'all definitely competitive. The most competitive group I've been around when it comes to athletes and football specifically. So was there ever any animosity if something was to come?
Nah. I mean, we tease each other a lot,
Yeah.
But that's about it. Ain't no like, I never felt the type of way whenever one of my brothers eating,
Facts.
because I mean, I feel like if they good, I'm good, and I'm always make a way.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing them have all the success, it really just made me hungry. It gave me something else to chase.
Facts.
Because I'm like, I feel I'm deserving of it too, so I'm about to go get that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't no animosity. It was, if anything was ever said, it was all jokes. It was all love. It was never nothing personal.
Okay.
Besides feeling like underrated, like what was another thing that pushed you to get you to where you're at today?
Just my family, just trying to get them the life that I feel like we all just deserve for real. And I would say my family, and just the feeling, just approving other people wrong for real. That always drove me, just because I always felt like wow, if you in the field, if you at the field, or well, no matter the sport, field or the court, if you in the gym, you on the field, and you see me out there, why you not looking at me? So I just always try to do something more to just get that attention on me.
I like it.
Okay. And so, once we get past going, you go through, what was let me what was the recruiting process like? Because I was never fortunate enough to be recruited like that. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure anybody else been through a recruiting process. So what's that like, man, for you?
Man, it's a marathon for sure. It don't, I mean, for some recruits is, they come in 5 stars, 4-star, 5 stars. They stuff just like clockwork, you know what I'm saying? It just come like that. But mine for sure was it took a while to get started, and even after it got started, it didn't pick up how I wanted it to. I want to say my first offer was my junior year. Camp was like a D2 offer, NSU out in Tahlequah.
Mm-hmm.
Then like that same day, I got Sam Houston State.
Oh, okay.
So that D1 out there in Texas.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, bet it's about to
Mm-hmm.
go crazy. But then like I was wrong. So I'm like checking my phone like all day, every day, making sure my phone charged, checking Twitter, seeing coaches hit me up. But like I really wasn't getting no love like that. And, so yeah, I just was going through that, just trying to stay patient. Got a few more during the summer from a couple D1s, some D2s, and still looking for those big offers, those FBS offers for real. Man, I want to say it didn't come till like January 2017. Yeah, I was at like a basketball tournament with a sophomore. Then Eastern Michigan, where I was at, they was the first ones. They had called me, and they told me they wanted to offer me, and I tried to keep my cool, but it was just like, damn, like You know, I've been working
It's
for this. You
here.
know what I'm saying? It's
Facts.
here. Like, it's
Yeah.
here now. What I'm about to do with it. And then I was fortunate enough to get a couple more at Wyoming and Louisiana Monroe right after that. And, man, I ain't gonna lie. When I got them offers, though, I was like, damn, like, what I'm about to do now. Like,
Yeah.
where I'm about to go, it don't matter where I go. It do matter where I go. I was having all type of thoughts, all type of emotions. And just when that happened, it just, like, made me more appreciative just because I had teammates who was going through the same stuff, going through the recruitment process, and I was, like, at the point where I was kind of complaining in my head. I really wasn't out loud with it, but I was just complaining. Just, damn, like, why I ain't getting all this attention? And I started getting it, so then it made me even more thankful for it. And, yeah, the recruitment process, just to sum it up, was just it was an up and down process. But I ain't gonna lie, it's a blessing to go through it, though, just because you get to know, like, you know that people are actually interested in you.
What helped you make your decision on where you went?
I mean, so the day before signing day, I had just left Wyoming. So, and all my big offers was for corner. So I'm like, it was like between Eastern Michigan and Wyoming. It was my top
I didn't
two.
know that. Yeah.
That was my top two. So just came from Wyoming, had a fun, like, visit, went crazy, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Out there with Josh Allen, quarterback for the
Oh,
Bills.
facts.
Yeah, that was at, but I'm there as a corner, but they had me with him.
Oh, okay.
And my boy D Free, he from Dale City. He was out there too. But I'm like, man, Wyoming closer to home. Like, I know a couple people here. Mountain West Conference, they got a nice schedule.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go here, but then, so I'm at school. I'm telling them I'm gonna commit like it was like January 31st. I want to say.
Yeah.
And then coach at Eastern had called me, and I declined it. I'm like, man, he trying to press me. Like, I ain't ready yet. Like I need some time to think. I know I said today, but I ain't ready yet. Then he had text me, check my phone. He talking about I'm here with the offensive staff. We got some news for you. And like I said, they was recruiting me as a corner.
Yeah.
And anybody that know me know I want that ball in my hand. Like,
Facts.
I mean, I'll go do it on defense, but I'd rather be playing receiver. And so basically, they just switched my position. And then after that, told them, I was like, all right, I'm going to call my family. We're gonna talk about it. I'm going to get back to you later on. I mean, I waited like 2-3 minutes. Called them right back. I ain't talked to nobody. I was like, I'm told them I'm coming. So
You didn't tell your parents nothing.
nah,
You just
I told them after the fact.
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my daddy, he was turned up.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that, man.
Being underrated, like, what were a couple things you had to, like, do? Like, what other things did you have to work on? Like, not getting all the bigger, like, scholarships you wanted to. So, like, what, like, extra work did you have to put in?
Just, I really started with just like the mental game, just studying film a lot, studying my favorite receivers, just finding stuff that they do well that I want to implement, and just so like I said, started mental, then the physical. I just try to work 10 times harder just because I already knew I was at a disadvantage. Yeah. Just even after I got to the school that I decided, it wasn't even the school I necessarily wanted to go to, because I mean, every kid dream of going to the big schools, the biggest schools, the Bamas, the Oklahomas, stuff like that. And when I didn't get that, I'm like, man, I'm better than them, but I got to just show that. Yeah. Cause like I'm here now, and everybody got the same shot. We all get the same 24 hours, so I just had to make the best of it for real.
Okay. I like it.
Now, most of the people watching this probably don't know that my boy Kiki, he wasn't the biggest boy out there on the field. Now, he went out there to, Eastern Michigan, and boy came back swoller than Georgia Peach on my ass, and looked like he ate a couple of his teammates. That's one thing I gotta definitely give you the credit and work ethic, like, bruh, seeing the development that you've had, seeing the overall change, not just in your mindset, but your physical approach to it, because but when I tell you came back and looked like a whole nother dude, I was like, damn, why your arms so big? Like it's crazy. Like, but I can appreciate that, because a lot of people I done seen go try to play D1 and they still built like they sophomores in high school. But I got to say, you invested that time in yourself. You invested that time in your body to get yourself to that next level, which is, the next thing I want to talk about, man. You went out there to Eastern Michigan and really made the most of your time. For those who may not know, you got some stats you want to throw out there? Because, I want to say, if you haven't seen it, my boy is one of the top 30 athletes in the country right now in the transfer portal, looking for his next home to go show out and show his ability, man. Like, what were some of the things you did this season, man, or the past season?
I mean, I caught close to like 100 balls,
Mm-hmm.
got like 89 touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
over 1,000 all purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did most of that. I wasn't even a starter though.
That's what's crazy. Still top 30 out of all the Division I colleges. The OUs, the LSUs, the Bamas, the Texases, the Techs. All these big name Division I schools. You come out of Eastern Michigan University as one of the top 30 in the transfer portal around the world. Like, that don't just come. You don't just get that. Everyone's still looking at those LSU players, those ones that want to transfer, man.
Mm-hmm.
But for your name to be mentioned in that, like, that's something to definitely be proud of. I'm proud of. I'm sure all your homies is like, that's pure work ethic and heart. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta definitely give you that.
I know you're being humble. I know you're a park gamer.
Yeah.
661 yards, 2019, 322 yards last year.
Yes, sir.
Average 13 yards per carry per reception.
Per reception, 13
Wow.
per reception.
I keep going, but I ain't
No, I appreciate that because we
Yeah.
definitely want to acknowledge the the young athletes, and one of my big things for one of you on here, especially as the first special guest, man, is that you weren't the top dog that everybody talked about, and you know what I'm saying. Everybody wasn't on your nuts like they was now, and I'm gonna put it like that just because you were undervalued, underrated. When I talk about Tony and his basketball skills, like, people don't think Tony can hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Tony can hoop for sure.
But Tony got skills, bro. You know what I'm saying? Me and Ayo go play pickup. Like, people start respecting things, and seeing you go from not getting what you deserve to now you're at this point where you can really in a position where if you keep going, you could change your life, your family's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the young kids to see that you don't have to get those Duke offers, the Kentucky offers, the OU, Alabamas. Like, if you were willing to put in that time and that work, you know what I'm saying, anything is possible. And you don't just have to be the best instantly. You know what I'm saying? People grow into that.
Facts.
So how was your transition from your injury year,
Yeah.
your sophomore year to your first year playing, to your second year playing? Like, what was the transitions and all that? Like, how did it feel coming from injury? What was the differences? Because obviously you hadn't got to play yet since high school, so you
Yeah.
only had that at the time.
Yeah.
So what was that transition like into your first year?
I would say the biggest difficulty was the game speed because, like you said, playing in high school and college were totally different things.
Yeah.
Like, them was grown men out there.
Facts.
So, like 18, 19-year-old kid out there with some grown men for real.
Yeah.
You gotta be ready. You gotta keep your head on the swivel at all times. Definitely had to get my weight up. That was probably the hardest thing though. Oh, like next to the game speed, cause I mean anybody that knew me knew I wasn't like David said, I wasn't even the biggest. I was nowhere close to being the biggest thing on the field. But I mean I play big,
True.
but it's different when you actually got that size to go with it. You get to play more. You can play more natural, and I just had to learn how to move with the weight that I picked up because I wasn't used to. Like, I was like 20, 25 pounds heavier than I was from my freshman year to my redshirt freshman year, which was my sophomore year on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, in the classroom. But I would say that was a tough transition. And then the playbook was just so big. Like,
Crazy?
Yeah, the playbook went crazy. Like, couldn't even tell you how many plays we had.
Not even comparable to high school.
No, nowhere close. Nowhere close. And then just so many audibles to, like, in any situation, different coverages you got to know.
Yeah.
But that my redshirt freshman year, that's the year I learned how to really just be a student, I would say.
Really?
Because I couldn't just sit and learn, like, my position. You got to know everything from all the receivers to the quarterback, what he reading, the running backs, they keys, they looking at the O-lineman. You got to pay attention to everybody on the field.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I learned how to do that, because that redshirt freshman year, I really didn't play as much as I wanted to.
Right.
And I don't put that on nobody but myself, because I mean I could have. It's something I always feel like it's somewhere that you could do. Don't as long as you don't leave stuff up to other people to decide for you.
Facts.
So that year transitioned to my redshirt sophomore year. That's when I was real comfortable, just as far as in the system with who I was as a person. Which that's never gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I got to tie that together, I just feel like my game took off. And I mean, I reaped the benefits of that for
Facts.
sure.
So did you have the same coach, same quarterback all the years?
Nah, I had 3 quarterbacks.
3 different quarterbacks?
3 different quarterbacks every year, 2 different receiver coaches.
That's
Wow.
tough.
2 different offensive coordinators.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
So that was hard too, just to
Mhm.
get used to different people's style and stuff like that.
So do you
every
feel
year.
like one offensive coordinator kind of fits you better than the other?
It's not even so much of me; it's just so much of the team.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, I'm just one person for real.
Facts.
So I mean, I matter, but in that situation, I really don't matter because it's not about just me. So, I could say that just because people are different. They got different ways that they call plays, their aggression as far as play style and stuff
Right.
like that, or just their creativity just different.
Mm-hmm.
Because this game evolving every day, and different minds is gonna fit that the way that the game evolving. So I mean, me personally, I feel like it was pretty much the same though.
Yeah.
But as a team, I feel like it was a difference.
So do you feel like the quarterback you played with in high school, obviously, is Casey, prepared you from a catching standpoint and accuracy standpoint for college? Made you more prepared than
For sure, yeah.
if you were to play with somebody normal, in a sense?
Yeah, because Casey, he an elite. He's very elite. If you know
Right.
Casey, yeah, boy, he different.
Yeah,
Different.
you know, we
Yeah.
watching this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Casey
He
different.
the best passer in his family. You
Yeah.
know, and I love Casey. That's my guy. But I put it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say Casey did. Just playing with Casey did help me just because he's so knowledgeable of the game too, and just me and him bouncing ideas off each other, just constantly every day. Like I was just with him like a few hours ago. We was just at the field all day.
Linking with each other,
Yeah.
just working out.
Yeah, it's always like being around him definitely prepared me because when I got to college, everybody was like that
Yeah,
because it's up a job at that point. And
Mhm.
everybody trying to go to the league, so
facts.
everybody their mindset is just that dog mentality for real. And that's something Casey had. That's something he got,
Well,
and that's something everybody, all my other quarterbacks had too.
that's dope.
Yeah. Hey, you got anything else?
I'll say going through this football journey, what's been the funnest part for you?
Funnest part, definitely just the relationships I built with people. I got some of my best friends I made in college from all different parts of the country, from the East Coast to West Coast, up north, down south. So I would say just the people that I met is definitely the best. That's the most fun part.
Okay.
So, I guess with you, like you said, we said transfer portal. We talked all that thing. What are some of your goals for the near future and for the further future, far future, however you want to word that?
The near future for sure, just figuring out where I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard decision because I don't know.
That's crazy.
I feel like Jesus Shuttlesworth right now.
yeah.
Saying I
Hell
don't
yeah.
know. So that's step one.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, just getting wherever I'm going to go, getting there, gelling with the quarterback, just the team overall, just gelling with everybody, getting comfortable in the system, learning the plays, all that. And then, of course, balling out wherever I'm at,
Absolutely.
balling out. And then hopefully this time next year, we talking about where I'm playing, like what
team getting drafted to.
Exactly.
Draft day.
Yeah,
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Man.
Cowboys, come on, we'll take you.
Let me get your mic. Pull it. So, let me get questions of my guy.
Go ahead. Yeah. And if y'all don't know,
Well, let me.
yeah, Alex, Dante, these are the people that definitely brought Quian in our world. These are his
Facts.
homies.
Facts. These my brothers, real
But
talk.
I got a question I was wondering earlier. So, when did you make the distinction on which sport to like go ahead on and like I'm gonna commit to this one sport? Because you've been you coded both your whole life.
Huh.
So, at what point was you like, all right, I'm gonna commit to this sport only. I'm gonna have to commit to this one. Like, was it your parents' decision? Was it your decision? Like, how'd it go?
Great question.
Well, my parents, they gave me input. I mean, they gave me that input, just what they thought. And what they thought was just whatever I felt like I needed to do, that was going to be the best move for real. So, as far as that's what happened. But then just deciding what I was going to do, I ain't going to lie. I ain't know till I signed for real. I mean, so I decided, like, I started taking the visits my senior year, like, during basketball season. And I'm like, and I was balling on the court too. So it's
You
like,
get any offers in basketball? That's what I was wondering, but I didn't know.
I mean,
Nothing
like
crazy.
I mean, like they all figured. Well, I mean, they all back. They like the schools that I did talk to. They was backing off just because they was like, you gonna play. They was asking me like, you gonna play football
Yeah.
or what you gonna do? And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go to football. I started
Okay.
I started getting these offers like yeah, they come into practice and stuff talking to me and stuff. But I mean, like I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this football.
Cause you did track too, huh?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, I did want to do track though. I wanted to be two sport though, wherever I went, but it didn't work out like that.
Yeah. Cause I was wondering. I'm like, I watched you like obviously grow up you playing and stuff, and I'm like, he's good at both. So I was like, I don't wonder how you make that. Cause I run into a lot of people that are good at both sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that sucks. Like, which one do you give up? Cause it's like you got a love for both, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's like cause I mean, you probably would you say you better at football, or is that hard to even say if I'm better at football or better at basketball?
It's hard to say just because like where I'm at now in comparison to what I was at.
Yeah.
So and then basketball my favorite sport too.
That's how it always
Okay.
goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
You
it's
think you
hard.
could have played it at your college?
Yeah.
You for sure?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
see his
sir.
face.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
seen
sir.
some videos you shooting around with him or messing around with him or
Yeah,
whatever it was, and I'm
like-
thinking he could probably play with them.
Yeah, I could.
Like
I
straight
know I
up.
could play. I know I could
Yeah,
play for sure.
fair.
That boy windmilling in jeans.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
So I guess I gotta ask this question because growing up, you know, my parents let us play every sport under the rainbow, but one of their things is like you're gonna have to pick one and kind of focus on it if you really want to be, you know, that dude in it. But now as we seeing, you know, like Jalen Suggs and Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes, like there are these multi-sport athletes that can play both at the Division I level. Like what Kyler Murray got drafted in baseball and in football. Same with Patrick, possibly, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
So how
Tebow.
how do you view that, or what is your advice to like some of the younger athletes coming into, you know, that play multiple sports?
Just play it all. If you got time, if you can make time for it all and you can focus on your school, because that comes first.
Mm-hmm.
And just do everything, because that's something I'm glad my daddy and my mama let me do. They ain't pull me away from that. I even played baseball too for a second. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
They like I like baseball. They like you can try it. Like
Mhm.
do what you want to do. Like
Fat contract.
but whatever you do, just make like you want to go hard. You always want to be the best at it. Regardless if you've been playing for a year or 10 years, you approach it all like you gonna be the best, or like you are the best. Because I feel like that's how you're gonna get the most out of it, and that's how I approach everything. So I mean, I just feel like you should just play. Yeah, my advice is just do everything you can, take care of your school first, and then just go hard and everything.
Yeah. As a high school coach, it's hard because like a lot of them be all trying to shun you to don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should.
One philosophy about us is like you do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just if you're great at these things, you're going to be great no matter what you do. So like we have guys at 3-sport guys right now. We have a guy that was doing 4 sports at one point, and it's just like okay. But then you come to basketball, you know what I'm saying? You might be behind because you're in football.
Yeah.
So some of them have that hard time. Like, man, why am I struggling? Like, well, you've been playing football for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really been on the court, so you kind of got to give yourself some time. But I think young athletes that people are trying to shun them to do individual sports, all the greats growing up played multiple sports.
Exactly.
And it makes you better because you can use the way you move in basketball and football. You can
Yes,
use the
definitely.
strength from football to basketball.
Facts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And track, obviously, both of them can go run track, jump, and all that type of stuff. But people don't look at it like that. Like try to mobilize them to one. And we're like, if you believe you're great at all that as a high school coach, you 16, 17, you do whatever you want to do. Right? We only thing is when you come to us, we're trying to get you to go to the next level.
Right.
That's our only job. So we're not gonna hold you back from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel like some coaches are more worried about their individual success as the program, which is rightly so.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's like these kids are going to move on.
Right.
So give them in the best position they possibly can to go.
Facts.
Yeah. So, you know, I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer. I just have one more question that I guess a gem for the next generation of athletes as they're coming up, you know, me and Dante's little brother is basically like your little brother Bar, you know, LB, you know what I'm saying? His brother Mason. What is one thing for young athletes facing adversity that you would give them, or like advice if they say, hey, big bro Key, what should I do while like I'm going through this? You know, what's up?
First, just find somebody that you feel like you can talk to, because I mean, like just any sport that stuff go hand in hand with your life. So if you feel like if you're struggling in life, I feel like you should talk to somebody. If you're struggling in your sport, you should be able to talk to somebody. So that's first, and then after that, just let it out for real, let it out, and then when you hit adversity, whenever you face adversity, though, you just gotta just find a way around it, through it, over it, under it, anything. You gotta just go. You gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. Just keep going, because it's never gonna last. Like what they say, tough times don't last. Tough people do. So when adversity comes, you just always gotta remember that. Because as long as you waking up, seeing another day, it's gonna get better. And that's something I always try to do as a kid, just growing up, and that's stuff I do now, and just try to find ways you can solve it, because it's always a solution to the problem, always.
Oh yeah, man. Anybody got anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you good.
I Am Athlete. They go do this thing called I'm gonna get messy. Right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little messy something here. Out of the squad, can any of them hold you now to this day? So you got G,
Q
Quay, any of them cats. If they line up with you 1-on-1,
consistently.
is anybody messing with you?
No.
Period. None of them.
No.
G, none of them.
No.
Okay. I just had to clarify that because I know I look at it like I would believe so as well. But I don't know. You know, obviously they would have their own opinion.
Yeah, they gonna have their own opinion, but
And if you was to flip it, you locking them up.
yeah,
Everyone.
I do that too. Yeah,
Both of them.
I do that
All
too.
of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
On the pod,
Mm-hmm.
you faster than Peso?
Are you faster than Peso?
Are you faster
Yes.
than
Yes.
Gary,
I done-
hold on.
I done seen
Peso
I done
told
seen
us-
Peso get walked by Jew.
Okay, he said Juice the only one that beat him. But he said he burned Quay. He said he burned anybody else in the
I
foot.
ain't never seen him burn
In a
Quay.
street race, is what he
I ain't
says.
seen him burn
But you think
Quay.
he probably could beat him 1-on-1 straight up?
Yeah, I ain't never seen Quay get burnt. That boy Quay fast too.
But he sent a text in y'all's group, y'all little friend group, and he asked Quay, and Quay said, "You didn't burn me like that, but you beat me in the sprint in a
Oh,
100
wow.
yard in a
He said
100 yard
He
sprint."
said that.
Yeah, that's
He
what he
did?
said.
I ain't see it.
He said he beat him, but he ain't
I
beat
ain't
me.
see it.
He not beating you in the race though, straight up.
I ain't see it. But, I mean, me. If I'm competing with you, you ain't beating me. Like that's my
I respect that.
my
We're
mindset.
gonna
You
line that up.
gonna have to show me you can beat me, and then you beat me. We gonna have to bring that back. You know
That's
what I'm
all
saying?
right. When Peso get back, we gonna run it.
All right. Hey, yo, you got anything else?
Right, we'll leave it at that. I like that.
All right, man. This is episode 7 of the From the Jump podcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank my special guest, my little bro, Quian Williams. I want to thank my co-host, my bro host, Big Tone,
Yep.
Alex. Hey, yo, and we gone.